Hello and welcome to another episode of Sandy Killer Projects. Today we're going to go over how to replace the window regulator motor assembly on my Jeep XJ. Before we get going, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We're always looking to add more subscribers. Our goal is to get to monetization. We've still got a little ways till we're there, so subscribe, tell your friends, and give a thumbs up to the video. Okay, first thing to start on, disconnect the battery. Mine takes a 7/16. Door panel has 4 Phillips head screws. One back behind this mechanism for the door opener. That one has to come out. Then there are 2 underneath the armrest right here. One right here, one right here, and then another one in the front part of the handle plastic. So all 4 of those have to come out first. Once you have the screws out of the door panel, next thing you want to do is fish a screwdriver up underneath the bottom of the panel, and then just move along until it opens up enough, and then walk the pop clips off. There is a special tool made for this. It's a flat plate with a groove opening in it so that you can get these on and off. They usually come off pretty easy though. That's why I'm not using that. And then once you get the panel to here, you just lift straight off. Now everything is holding onto it, so I gotta move and show you where that's gonna go. So looking in between the door and the door panel, you can see right here there's a couple of clips. This clip, you just press on this bit and get it to pop away, and then once you get it turned far enough out of the way, the rod drops down. The one below it is an aftermarket replacement. That's why it looks a little different than the top one. It works the same way though. You take this mechanism and push this way until it rotates out, and then the rod will pull out. It's not really something I can do with one hand. And of course everything in here is old plastic, so it breaks really easy. Also, when you move further up, there are 2 electrical connectors. I'll show you how those come off after I get them out. The door panel is off. I'll show you the back of the panel. These are those 2 little clips. You put the rod in them, you push them away from the rod and lift the rod out. Same thing on this one. Push it out of the way, then pull the rod out, and it comes out. The rods are made to set through the connectors. A lot of times these break. If you have to replace them because the plastic got thin, they're about $2 for a pack of 2. So then inside of the panel here, you have the 2 rods. They pretty much just stay in place, and then the 2 connectors for the controls. To take them out of the actual connectors, there's a little tab right here. You push down on this guy, and it relieves the pressure on all of this, dropping this clip edge underneath the connector, and then it slides out. The other one works exactly the same way. It's set up in the same spot. Just push it down and then slide it out. Sometimes they're a little bit of a fight. You have to wiggle them back and forth to get them out. And then the next thing you do is pull the weather protector off of the frame of the door. It will get goopy. Generally these just go back right in the same spot that they were because there's enough sticky stuff on them to put them right back. So take that off, fish your wires out, fish your lines out, get whatever sticky stuff that's hanging off. Set that out of the way for now, and then we're inside of the window. Okay, now with the window, with the weather strip panel off, you want to set the window down onto a block of wood. It didn't matter what kind of wood, just a piece of wood to keep the window from dropping. There are 2 bolts on here, 10 millimeters each. This will remove the glass from the window track. So we're going to do that first because you have to be able to move everything around a bit as you get going. Sometimes you have to have the window in the up position, sometimes you need it in the down position when getting the regulator assembly out. So 1 bolt, and the other one. Right there. see the window regulator assembly dropped. This is now being held by the block of wood. Alright, there's 3 bolts that have to come out for the track frame. There are 2 down here. I've already taken 1 out, and there's 1 up here on the top. I'll remove those. This will free up the track rail. This one doesn't even have to come all the way off because it's got a slip. Actually, all of them on this are set up in such a way that you can slip them out, but we're replacing everything, and that hardware's got to be reused on the new stuff. So there's no real reason to leave it in place. But this makes it to where the track itself can be twisted to come out of this hole. There's a long cable assembly that comes up off the side. I have to fish all that out. Okay, so the last part that we have to remove is these 3 bolts right here. They're what hold the motor assembly in place. These ones we don't have to reuse, so we can leave them on and just lift the motor out of position. So that loosens those, and then you just pull it back through the hole. Alright, so the window motor assembly has this cable. It runs up and along the side of the track, going this way and along the side of the window. Up along the side of the window track on the far side over here. Okay, so you have to fish that side of the cable out, and then start getting the motor assembly to move out towards the hole. Once you do that, you need to pop this press plug, which is attached to this hole right here. This assembly comes out of that press plug, and then you pull the motor up and out. Once you get the motor up and out, you can get to this cable assembly. To release this cable assembly, this connector, you just push back on it until the red tab comes out, and then take a screwdriver and push down on the little tab on the inside here. The stock assembly, there's another press plug here. This one won't be used on the new setup. There's no press plug on it, and there's no real way to transfer it off of the old setup. But if you're just yanking on the motor, there's no way it's going to come out. You have to push that one back through. Once you get this to where the bottom of the window track is hanging out and the cable is out, this drops right out of the hole. Window's still supported by the wood bracket. This is the new replacement motor assembly, and the reason why I'm showing it is because the stock assembly uses a plastic cable that runs through the sheave and through these 2 cables that drive this plate up and down to drive the window back and forth. The problem is, over time, as the plastic rots and corrodes, and as you go to roll up the window, once you get it up into place or all the way down, the cable breaks off and the window no longer works. The motor usually is still good, but the plastic cable goes bad. So when you replace them, make sure that you replace them with one that has a metal cable. It'll last a lot longer. You won't have an issue with the cable breaking because it's not made out of the plastic setup. More likely you'll have the motor itself burn out over time. So I didn't go over fishing the new assembly in. You put the motor over on this side, get the track over into, lay it back into place, start your bolts back in on the new setup, and connect your electrical connector. Electrical connector connects up the same way. Push pin goes in, and the lock piece comes out. Make sure that your wires are on this side of the cables that drive the window up and down. If you don't, you're going to end up having an issue with it getting hung up as the window goes up, because these cable assemblies that are up in here actually shift around and move. So tighten these down and then adjust your window so that they line up with the 2 holes. You tighten all the bolts up on the mount assembly. If I haven't measured before, it's 10 millimeter. You literally just use 1 10mm for everything. You don't even need a hand wrench because you don't have to fight with the window in position back there. Then install the front 2 on the glass. When you tighten up the ones in the glass, they go through a rubber bushing, do not crank them tight. If you crank them tight, you will shatter the glass. Just down to where they're snug, maybe a little past snug. You don't want to hear crunch, crunch, crunch when you're tightening up the glass. Okay, so your weather strip panel, it goes back on. You can reuse the stuff that's in there. It's no longer going to be waterproof if you're expecting it to be. The silica rubber stuff that holds it on will still be sticky and you can reuse it. It's just not going to keep water from getting into there if you're in a situation where there's a lot of water. Your two bars for your door latch mechanisms go through this back hole, and your wires come up through this plus cut one on this side. I'll show you this as the door panel goes on. This is the opposite of how they go on and off. This is literally how hard it is to put these on. You literally just put the cable through it and push the thing over. Same thing with the bottom one. Nothing difficult. All of your wires push directly into the connectors and click, and then you know they're in. There's that one. Okay, so once you have everything connected, there's a lip edge on this plate that sits on the window channel here. Sometimes these will come out with it. If this does come out, it's not super complicated. It just has a little edge that sits on, but generally these will stay in. You just put the door panel back into this piece of track here. So you set it onto that ledge and then rotate the panel down. There's a little line-up post on this far end right here. It has to go into the hole that is right there. Once that goes in, then the panel will drop down into position. So once you have the alignment pins on the front and the back lined up, like I said, it drops down. Then you just get this to where it's close and then start pushing the panel back together. Okay, so the last screw that has to go in for me is the one for the door latch mechanism. Everything appears to be working all right, so we'll connect the battery back up. And the battery is reconnected. Okay, so now we can see window rolls up, window rolls down. None of the auto control works. That's it. Right, so that's it for replacing your window regulator motor assembly. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Definitely subscribe. We definitely need to gain more subscribers. Share the video if you know somebody who's got XJs or any of the kind of stuff that we have. We'll keep making more videos. Thanks.